Donald Trump was crashing out in the Oval Office as a U.S. tanker was hit hard in Egypt. Yes, the war is now in Egypt. We talked about how the Houthis from Yemen successfully struck 3 refineries in Saudi Arabia and the United States striking Iranian-backed militias in Iraq. Obviously, the U.S. with their strikes against Iran and the escalation by Donald Trump, Iran responding by attacking U.S. bases in the Arab nation neighbors that have supported the United States. This thing is expanding in a major way. Let me break down first what's going on, then let me show you what happened in the Oval Office. It should also be noted that on the Elon Musk social media platform X, they've gotten rid of the Tasnim news agency, Iran's news agency, which has been providing a lot of updates and satellite footage regarding the catastrophic and unlawful war launched by Donald Trump and Netanyahu. There's still a lot of other sources out there, but I also find it notable because you have CENTCOM, about an hour ago, publishing it's false to say that Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz. The United States controls it. Ships are free to pass. Tankers feel free to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Let me be clear. Not only is the Strait of Hormuz shut down, not only is the Bab el-Mandab effectively controlled by the Houthis in Yemen, who are now working on a tolling system there, but now we're talking about ports in Egypt as well. Okay, we need to get the actual facts right here, and certainly I know that Tasnim and Iranian media is going to have its propaganda, but we need to be able to look at the satellite footage, the surveillance footage, all of the actual data to provide the best updates to all of you. And it just seems, fascinating to me that the Trump regime is shutting down all of the satellite footage from private companies in the United States, and they're trying to shut it down elsewhere as the United States has depleted its strategic petroleum reserve, depleted its interceptor stockpiles and precision munition stockpiles, and the U.S. bases have been demolished by Iran in the surrounding Arab nations close to Iran. All right, major escalation being reported. A U.S.-owned and operated Marshall Islands flagged Energos Winter LNG floating storage. So this was a LNG regasification vessel that was in the Damietta port in Egypt, came under attack by at least one drone, likely of Iranian origin. This LNG storage tanker was docked at the Damietta port. We have video footage just to show you what it looked like, scenes from the Damietta port in Egypt. Let me show you a first. Let's play it. This is outside of the Damietta port. You can see the chaos right there as this U.S. tanker carrying liquefied gas was struck by a drone off the northern coast of Egypt. Let me show you B right here so you can see it. Right now, this follows the United States and Saudi Arabia striking within Iraq, killing at least 20 individuals, and many of those 20 individuals were IRGC affiliated. 32 additional people were wounded in this joint U.S.-Saudi airstrike, which was targeting the PMF headquarters, and that's like the Iranian militia within the Iraqi army. And it's notable that the United States and Saudi Arabia engaging in that strike in Iraq, killing numerous IRGC-backed people. Now, the PMF said they're going to respond. The Iraq resistance says they're going to respond. There's a pilgrimage going on right now in the area. And so as soon as that's done, they say they'll respond in the area, that they don't want to disrupt and make any of the pilgrims subject to any additional attacks. But I think obviously this attack in Egypt was sending a message as well. So there was massive escalation there. One of the things that is notable is I don't see those United Kingdom maritime reports showing the activity in the Strait of Hormuz and Bab el-Mandab like I did before. There used to be a lot of these UK maritime reports where Iran would strike these tankers And you would have this reporting to tell the other mariners, the other people in the Straits, in the Gulf and Red Sea and the Persian Gulf, what was going on. Should you be worried? That's now been replaced with the CENTCOM propaganda of everything is great. Don't worry about it, because, when the IRGC usually says things like this, it's usually accurate. Doesn't mean they're always accurate, but I found when the IRGC reports, this was recently reported, 3 oil tankers ignored warnings by Iran and they were struck and brought to a halt. And that just happened. So I believe that there were probably additional tankers also that just tried to go through the Oman route in the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran struck those ships. So I just want to situate, just so you know, there's a lot going on right now, right? You have the Houthis were able to strike 3 refineries in Saudi Arabia, joint U.S.-Saudi Arabian strikes on Iranian militia in Iraq. That's part of the official Iraqi army. You have the Iran strike yesterday of a U.S. base in Jordan. And then you have the Iran strike in Egypt. At the same time, you had Zelensky visit yesterday and was talking about the need for Patriot interceptors, except the U.S. Patriot interceptors and THAAD stockpiles have been significantly depleted. I'll get to that in a second. You had Netanyahu meeting with Donald Trump yesterday, discussing why he wants Donald Trump to engage in more war crimes and escalate further, destroying Pickaxe Mountain with, big bunker busters, which will probably be difficult to do. But this Pickaxe Mountain in Iran, where it's believed that the nuclear program is being reconstituted, and to strike bridges and nuclear plants and other civilian infrastructure in Iran. And so you truly have a war involving the entire world right now. And what Iran is banking on as well, and also I think what Russia is banking on as well as they see it, is the U.S. stockpile, and China seeing it also, the U.S. stockpiles of not just strategic petroleum reserves depleted. We're at tank bottom. We're in a catastrophic situation with the strategic reserves right now. Let me just be very clear about that. But then the stockpiles of the THAAD and the Patriot interceptors, those PAC-3 interceptors. So U.S. intelligence right now has assessed that Iran's latest attack on Jordan was not a surprise attack. Just because Donald Trump's like, well, I'm done attacking for the day, Iran wants to make a deal. That's Trump fantasy land. Iran's like, we did the MOU. You violated the MOU. We're not going to allow your psychotic whims to dictate the pace of this war. Iran sees that the U.S. Stockpiles of precision munitions is depleting. So for Iran, it's like, let's just do 3 ballistic missiles in Jordan, have the U.S. use 12, 15, maybe more of these interceptors, have the U.S. run through its stockpile, and then just, basically take these jabs and cause the U.S. to further deplete in advance of Iran knows that, Netanyahu's meeting with Trump. And what's that going to lead to? That's going to lead to massive escalation. So Iran wants to draw actually Patriot interceptor fire so that the U.S. depletes more and more of its inventory. Iran believes that it holds the advantage and it can outlast any U.S. naval blockade. It says, okay, we have, I think Iran sees that they've got about 18 to 24 months that they can last with this blockade on a war footing. They know Trump's approval, you saw the latest approval, 34%, 33% amongst even like MAGA, amongst non-college educated white people, Trump is underwater net -8. No one in America other than like Mark Levin and like Netanyahu bootlickers, like nobody wants this war in Iran at all. And Iran knows that. They know that nobody in the U.S. wants this. And so Trump will get less and less and less popular. The Trump regime is like in full-fledged collapse mode right now in the United States. I'll do another video about that. And not only are we out of oil, the strategic reserves are depleted. We know, this is the CSIS latest report. That's the bipartisan think tank. And they talk about, you look at our Patriot interceptors right now. I mean, we have gone through most of them. So it's like Zelensky wants 300 Patriot interceptors from where? We don't have them anymore. We don't have them. And if we were to give Patriot interceptors, we wouldn't have any for our bases in the surrounding Arab nations. The 30-year Treasury yield just rose 10 basis points to 5.19%. That'll be even higher soon. That's not a good indication as well. You have makes the cost of borrowing much higher. Pentagon is now weighing seizing the cell phones of troops that are stationed in these bases in these surrounding Arab nations because they're filming what's going on, and they're sending the footage home to their families because they're terrified. We're putting our troops in these containerized barracks, and we don't have the interceptor capacity to protect them. We're protecting our equipment in Israel because there's the Iron Dome there, but they're going to run out if there's a massive attack there. But our troops are just sitting targets right now, and it's a dire 3-alarm fire situation right there. I know that was a long background, but I have to explain this to you as now I go through some of these clips of what Trump was doing in the Oval Office, so we get a full picture of how deranged this is. The way when I showed you State Regime Media Fox earlier today, and you had that Trey Yanks guy, one of the hosts, the propagandist, was like, Donald Trump told me that we're going to blow the fucking shit. Excuse my language, but that's what Trump said. Trump's like, we're going to blow the fucking shit out of Iran. Like Fox quoting the president of the United States. We were having this deal. Everything was going well. Iran begged that we get back to the table, and then they attacked Jordan. Now we're going to blow the effing shit, says Donald Trump. And I'm like, what language? I don't like, I hate cursing. I'm quoting it for the fact that that's what Donald Trump is saying. I hate using that language right there. Okay. Let's talk about what went down here. So the reporter is asking here in the Oval Office, what can you tell us about the tanker attack in Egypt? Is it related to Iran? And Trump's like, it's a little more of the same. Here, play this clip.
On the the drone attack on the LNG tanker off of Egypt. Yeah. What can you tell us about that? And is there any indication it's Iran related? Does it represent?
Well, I'll give you a report. I've been briefed. It's a little more of the same, but it's going to be straightening out. It's going to be straightening out. In the meantime.
So then Donald Trump on Iran said, it's our turn now. They hit us. It's going to be our turn. We're going to hit them soon. Again, he sounds like this is out of some bad WWE script or something. Here, let's play this clip.
It's going to be straightening out. In the meantime, we're going to be hitting them very hard because it's our turn to hit them. They know it's coming. They're asking us not to do it, but they tried shooting it last night. So we had 5 rockets shot going 8,500 miles an hour, and all 5 rockets were knocked down to the ground.
So then a reporter asks, so Xi Jinping told you that China would not give or sell Iran any weapons. A new report says Iran will get 400 rocket launchers from China. What do you make of that? Trump's like, I would be very disappointed. Xi told me that he's making up conversations with Xi Jinping that didn't happen. Xi Jinping never told you he's not giving weapons to Iran. If you listen to Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, they say in China, we are politically, militarily, economically allied with our strategic partner Iran. What do you think that means? Let's play this clip.
You did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. President Xi told you that China would not give or sell Iran any weapons. And there's a new report that Iran's about to get 400 rocket launchers from China going through Pakistan to Iran.
Well, that would be surprising. I mean, things like that happen, but that would be surprising. He told me very strongly he wouldn't partake, and he knows I'd be quite disappointed. Yeah, please.
Then Donald Trump says, I think what we need to do with Iran to try to solve all of this is to maybe do tariffs on them. Lindsay would have wanted us to do tariffs on them. do tariffs on them? What are you talking about? You're blockading them right now. Do you even know what tariffs are? They're not trading. They're not trading with they're not trading with us. What would a tariff do right now? Anyway, play this clip.
Iran as tariffs, not just as sanctions. I think it's important. That's what Lindsay wanted, because I heard that they have tariffs on Russia, but not on those 5 countries with having to do with Iran. I'd like to see tariffs on Iran. It would make it much stronger. So perhaps you're very good at this. You can maybe tell them. I think they should put in for Russia, but I think they should put in for Iran. And that's really what Lindsay wanted. Yep.
Then Donald Trump says regarding Zelensky, I want him to end the war. It's very simple. That's why, remember what I said yesterday as people were reporting, oh, Donald Trump had this meeting with Zelensky and Donald Trump said that he was going to give licenses to, it was a new tone for the new tone comment. It was a new tone. I'm like, no, it's bad. When Trump acts like he likes you, it's probably not a good thing. When Trump, Laura Loomer, and all of these MAGA people are now on your side, that's probably a bad thing and not a good thing. It was what history actually tells us. And so now I think Trump views now Zelensky thinks I like him more. Well, I'm now going to use that to tell Zelensky, you need to end the war. What does that even mean that he needs to end the war? Russia wants all of Eastern Ukraine. So are you saying that you want Zelensky to give all of Eastern Ukraine to Russia? Here, play this clip.
How was your meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday?
It was good.
Do you see a time scale for getting
No, it was good. Look, he's out doing his thing. I'd like him to end the war. So it's very simple. I get along with both. I get along with President Putin. I get along with President Zelensky. And like I told him, I want to end the war, get the war ended. Thousands of people, 25,000 people died last month.
And then Donald Trump goes on and says Biden was bad. Their whole thing today was to do COVID again. Things are so bad in the country right now. They want to bring more attention to Trump's mishandling of the pandemic. So they had Dr. Fauci on Capitol Hill. They had, Donald Trump and all the MAGA was like Fauci and Mamdani. And the American people are like, look, you're the one. Take some damn responsibility, Donald. You're the one who sent our country into this economic catastrophe. You're the one with Netanyahu got us into these crazy, never-ending, catastrophic wars that we don't want to be in. You're the one who did these tariffs against the world. Stop talking about 2020 COVID that you screwed up. Here, play this clip.
World, actually. And we did a good job. But many more people died under Biden than died in the Trump administration from COVID. COVID was a disaster, but Fauci did not help.
Then, of course, Donald Trump has to attack immigrants, and he says they're coming from Africa, South America, and different parts of Asia. Here, play this clip.
About it. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia. And they're invading Europe. They're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
And then Trump's like, windmills, I hate windmills. Let's play it.
He's got windmills all over the place. And anytime you see windmills, you see a failing country.
He says, grass are like human beings. Grass are like human beings. Let's play it.
Changing all the grass in all the parks. That's going to be changed very shortly. The parks are, because the grass is grass is like human beings. Grass is a life also. And we're raking, cleaning, and changing all of the parks. We don't have people. We don't have the tents anymore. We don't have all the barbed wire up. We don't have the wire up.
And then he says the ark is going to be so incredible, such an incredible ark. Let's play it.
Well, this is an important one. This is travel. So in terms of the importance, I think the ark is going to be incredible. I think the protected ballroom and military center that we're building at the White House is going to be unbelievable. It's very important. But, this is the airport. This is sort of the lifeblood of a city or a capital, certainly.
Then you had the Department of Defense post the following: winning. They said winning. It's not an option. Then they deleted it. Winning is not an option. Oh, that seems to be the Trump, how Trump views everything. And then I saw this. Outside of New York City. A woman takes a picture of an Iran War participation trophy installation placed by a protest group in New York City, and they're giving Donald Trump a participation trophy. Can't even fill a pool right. the Epstein file trophy, cover-up trophy, and then Donald Trump is spending his time doing $5 million of 23.75 karat gold to paint horses in Washington, D.C. by the Lincoln Memorial or something like that while all of this is going on. We'll keep you posted every step of the way, of course. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you so much.
Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.